Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy is brought to you in part by Tom's Place, the finest in men's fashion, located in Toronto at 190 Baldwin Street, in the heart of Kensington Market. Or visit toms-place.com. This is Nick and Roy's Totally Useless Christmas Show. Find out how Christmas is celebrated around the world. Listen, laugh, and learn.
Yes, and hello, and thank you very much for joining us. Merry Christmas, and yes, a very merry, totally useless Christmas show around the world.
It's that time of year again, Nick. It's time for the Totally Useless Christmas Show.
This is that's the theme from I Love Lucy. How did that come in? So yes, for the past 5 years, of course, we've had some Christmas specials, and as we celebrate 5 years, and our audience has reached over 75 countries around the world. So today, Roy and I will recognize as many of these 75, if not all of them, in terms of how they celebrate the holidays. It's not exactly Christmas in some regions of the world, but we want to know what traditions and how they celebrate around the world.
And I learned a lot from finding out, again, we're in 75, 77 countries around the world. We chose these countries and found out traditions and customs for their Christmas. So folks, get ready, put your seatbelt on. You're going to learn a lot about that. By the way, stow your tray tables as well.
Yes, exactly. All right, let me start off with Canada, because that's where I am from, Toronto, Canada. Roy is down in Fort Myers, Florida. Canadians can't get enough eggnog. Don't knock the nog. According to Statistics Canada, over 6 million liters of eggnog are sold across Canada in December. While it's not everyone's idea of a delicious holiday drink, but it's obvious many Canadians do like it. Now, that's eggnog. In some corners of Canada, it's Christmas 365 days a year. Welcome to Reindeer Station in Northwest Territories, Christmas Island in Nova Scotia, Sled Lake in Saskatchewan, Holly, Ontario, Noel, Nova Scotia, Turkey Point, Ontario, and Roy's favorite, Snowflake, Manitoba.
Wow. Remember on one of the shows, we found out that Santa lives on an island because the North Pole is technically a glacier floating around. So it is an island, which is cool. So you picked Canada because you live in Canada. Let me tell you one of the crazy customs down here in Florida for Christmas, and it's really fun.
Okay.
We go to the beach and we make snowmen out of sand.
No.
And in bathing suits, we take pictures and send them to our poor folks like you up in the cold, showing you how wonderful it is in December to be at the beach, and usually write in the sand, Merry Christmas.
Yes.
And put a picture of your foot there,
Thank you for that. By the way, also on the show, we're going to give you the cost of the 12 days of Christmas, that if you were going to purchase the, first day of Christmas my true love gave to me, the Partridge in a Pear Tree, and all of those 12 things, we will reveal exactly how much they cost and then the total at the end of it all. So we'll tell you all about that. And we'll also tell you on the show the most dangerous song to listen to while you're driving during the Christmas season. Scandinavian countries have their own version of julklap, which traditionally means Christmas tapping. So you simply knock on the neighbor's door, open it, and leave the gift inside without being seen by anyone. A twist is that instead of writing the name of the recipient, you just include a brief, witty message.
Yeah, so the people would get lucky with you, Nick.
Right.
They would not have to look at you.
Right.
And they're like, look, we really appreciate the gift, but you didn't have to scare us like that.
And one other thing about the Scandinavian countries, that in Northern Europe believe that if you feed the birds on Christmas Day, you'll have good luck in the new year.
Wow. So, you're in Canada, so you celebrate Boxing Day.
That's right.
In Slovakia, they celebrate Christmas Eve on the 24th, Christmas Day on the 25th. But in Slovakia, they also celebrate the 26th, Boxing Day, the Feast of Saint Stephen.
There you go.
Isn't that cool?
It's
Yeah.
wonderful. I love it. And
So
because
Slovakia does what the Canadians do, minus the maple syrup.
right, exactly. And of course, because you named your son Stefan, he must celebrate it on December 26th as well, his name day, I guess.
Yeah.
Now you're part
Well, he
of
was made a saint just because we were his parents.
right, exactly. So of course you're of German descent, and so in German folklore there are witches or helper fairies.
Which
that
ones?
Well, which ones? No, witches. They're helper fairies
Plural.
that help Santa Claus to deliver gifts.
Nick, let's keep this show clean.
I
Can we
am.
please?
Yes.
Okay.
They're the original Christmas elves. So the witches in as part of the German folklore.
Really? So the witches are the elves?
Yes, or
That's
helper
a twist.
or helper fairies.
Oh, wow. Poland.
Yes.
December 24th is celebrated, and the day is called, which is, of course, the Christmas Eve, is called Vigilia. They go all out for Vigilia because the way they celebrate Vigilia is thought to be how the entire next year will go. So they want it to be prosperous and fun and drink and celebrate and music because the way they celebrate the 24th Vigilia is the way the new year will be.
Wonderful. You're listening to a very merry, totally useless Christmas show as we celebrate the 75 countries around the world. So before we get to the next country, let me tell you about the PNC Christmas Price Index. For over 40 years, PNC has calculated the prices of the 12 gifts from the classic song, The 12 Days of Christmas. The PNC Christmas Price Index remains a whimsical holiday tradition, and so we asked our voice lady to help us out.
On the first day of Christmas, my true love gave to me
A partridge in a pear tree for retail value of $370.18. That's 16% higher than last year's price. This year's biggest percentage jump in price, the bird costs the same, but the tree is rooting itself deeper in True Love's wallet this year, apparently.
On the second day of Christmas, my true love gave to me
2 turtle doves, $750, 0%
Wow.
increase, but thank goodness for that.
On the third day of Christmas, my true love gave to me
3 French hens for a total of $346.50. It's another.
What?
Yeah, it's
For a hen?
3 French hens.
What's a hen weigh?
About 3-4 pounds. So $346.50 is another modest increase of about 5%. They rose in price by 5% because they're still the second most expensive gift in the index, making them a brilliant bargain. And one more for this section because we'll split it up throughout the course of the show.
On the fourth day of Christmas, my true love gave to me
4 calling birds, $599.96. The 4 calling birds haven't changed in price. While remaining the same for 10 years can be boring, it is the case for reliable planning for the True Love's budget. So the 4 calling birds have not risen in price in a long, long time. We'll have more of the 12 Days of Christmas, the cost of the 12 Days of Christmas, as you're listening to a very merry, totally useless Christmas show around the world.
You know, I don't like those talking birds, you know. I used to come home, we had one of them talking birds.
Yes, not for long.
And I would walk in the room and he'd say, "Quick, go out the window." In the Netherlands, they have Sinterklaas,
Yes.
which we know is kind of almost a German term for Santa Claus.
Right.
Sinterklaas, that's Santa, of course. On Christmas Day, they have a tradition in the Netherlands, and they have to eat a traditional food called appelbollen. Appelbollen.
Yes.
Appelbollen, which is a beignet or donut. It is chopped up apples fried into a donut. Very similar. Have you ever had an apple fritter?
Yes.
Oh, they are so good. It's disgusting. I love a warm apple fritter.
Oh, wow. Yes.
Oh, yeah. I snuggle up to it in bed.
Yes.
No, really, honestly, I'll sleep with an apple fritter.
Yes, exactly. Including.
But anyway,
yes.
in the Netherlands, it is customary to eat an appelbollen.
Now, we talked about New Zealand in previous shows, and we found out that they hold a nationwide Secret Santa every year. So
In a number of countries, they do this, and they put a price on it, correct?
yes, they do. And
Yes.
and last year in New Zealand, the Prime Minister joined in. In China, Western countries celebrate Christmas with family, but in China, celebrations are like Valentine's Day. It's a lighthearted day for young people to go out with their significant others and celebrate with small gifts. They also hang out with friends. They go to a movie or whatever, karaoke bar, or go shopping. Now, let's stick to that part of the world. In Japan, apparently having KFC for Christmas dates back to 1974. KFC promoted itself as American food perfect for Christmas. And due to the lack of turkey in Japan, and fried chicken generally is, well, delicious, the country ran with it, and now Christmas is KFC's best-selling time of the year in Japan.
Oh, wow. So they eat chicken.
Yeah.
Dominican Republic, another country where we have listeners, has their own version of a Christmas tree. It's called a churrumicos.
Chirimicos, okay.
It's wooden sticks and branches woven together into animal figures and then covered in lights and decorations. And I saw pictures of them. They're actually really, really cool. They look very like basket woven type animal figures, very tall, because they don't really have pine trees enough to cut down for Christmas trees, and they use sticks and things like that. So
Wow.
Really cool. Dominican Republic, a Chirimicos. Chirimicos.
Same to you. You're listening to a very merry, totally useless Christmas show with Nick and Roy as we go around the world and over the close to the 75 countries that we're in currently being heard. And we thank everyone for listening all over North America and 75 countries. Can you imagine that?
Yeah, I tell you, every time I see that, Nick, I think about 5 years ago, me and you sitting there talking about doing a podcast and what should we do it about and so on and so forth. And folks, I want you to know that out of thousands of podcasts, only one makes it. But it's about you, the listener, who make it popular, and you, the listener, that keep us going. And it is a true tribute to Nick and I, and we really do appreciate the fact that 75 countries around the world are listening to this crazy show.
Nick and Roy will continue with the Totally Useless Christmas Show. Welcome back to Nick and Roy's Totally Useless Christmas Show. Listen, laugh, and learn.
Okay, let's go to South Africa. The holiday may sit in the middle of summer because, they're in the middle of the summer season in the Southern Hemisphere. And so they don't scrimp on festive traditions. They're embraced with the same spirit as us, wintry people. Come on the 25th of December, church services are held, crackers are torn apart, gifts are exchanged, and drinks and conversations are enjoyed. Sticking to the Southern Hemisphere, Australia, Christmas celebrations usually happen on December 25th around a lunch feast. Christmas falls during the school holidays, allowing people to enjoy warm weather by spending time outdoors, very similar to what you're saying, where you were making snowmen out of sand. Many Australians barbecue and watch Boxing Day cricket test match the following day.
Shrimp on the Barbie.
Shrimp on the Barbie. Also, let's go to United Kingdom.
Eat the blooming onions.
Yes, they were. United Kingdom, apart from dinner at home or with the family or friends, Christmas is also time for parties. At school, children often do a Christmas theater performance or sing Christmas carols in a concert. Then they have a party with sweets and cakes. For adults, though, most workplaces have their Christmas do.
The Christmas do?
Yes.
Yeah, and after the photocopies come out, it's a Christmas don't.
That's right. What I was going to say was, and a lot of HR departments come out with lists of don'ts for those Christmas dues.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, I love this one. Singapore.
Yes.
It only has a population, 19% of their population are Christians. So less than 20%. 80% of the country are not Christians. But I love this because everyone celebrates Christmas. Which is wonderful. It's a consensus between people that don't necessarily agree, but they have a wonderful holiday. They celebrate Christmas very similar to us in Singapore, and everyone gets involved in on it, even though only 19% of the population are Christian.
Wow. Let's go back to the 12 days of Christmas as we discover exactly how much it costs this year.
On the 5th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me.
5 gold rings at $1,245. It's the second straight year that was flat on pricing, so 0% increase. So that's not too
Can
bad.
I stop you for 1 second, Nick?
Yes, please.
Why does she have to be so seductive about the things she says, my true love gave to me?
Because Christmas can be a very romantical time of year.
Well, yeah.
On the 6th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me.
See, that was very nice.
Yeah, it was very nice.
Now here's a great segue. 6 geese a laying, $900, an increase of 15.4%.
Yeah, one of the episodes, Nick, we spoke about, bestiality.
No, that's not what they're talking about. They're talking about
No reason for you to do that to the geese, Nick.
laying eggs is what they're talking about.
I'm sorry. Go on.
On the 7th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me.
7 swans are swimming, $13,125 to buy the swans. The true love needs to be swimming in cash. They stayed flat this year, thankfully, but they're still the second most expensive gift at $13,125.
Nick, you know why the swans are swimming? They're
Why?
swimming away from Nick because they seen what he did to the geese.
Right. Oh, boy.
On the 8th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me.
8 maids a milking, $58. Okay? That hasn't changed since 2009. The 8 maids a milking remain the price of $58. And that's part of the 12 days of Christmas. So the 12 days of Christmas, we'll continue with more of that as you're listening to a very merry, totally useless Christmas show with Nick and Roy around the world. What we're trying to do is we're trying to give you as much of the 75 countries around the world that celebrate Christmas or celebrate something.
And that listen to our show.
That's right. That this is the list of countries we grabbed from the countries that have registered to listen to our show. The United Republic of Tanzania. Just like the rest of the world, a good Christmas dinner is a good sign. Families often buy a cow or goat in January to feed it all year round and in time for Christmas in preparation to eat it on Christmas Eve. Many villages also brew their own beer to accompany the meal, and Santa Claus in the United Republic of Tanzania is called Baba Christmassy. In Zambia, children are encouraged to bring a present to church to distribute to the less fortunate children living in highly impoverished locations or those who are in hospitals that time of year. After the church service on Christmas Day, it is a custom that all children go to one house and the adults go to another house to have a party and eat. So they separate the kids from the grown-ups. Never mind a kid's table, it's a kid's house altogether.
Right.
Wow.
Which means that the next year there's more kids in the house. Let's go to Portugal, shall we?
Sure.
In Portugal, Christmas Eve dinner starts at what time, Nick?
Well, midnight, I would think.
No, the dinner to eat.
Oh, to dinner? Oh, well, they don't start eating at midnight?
No, they eat, their dinner starts between 8 p.m. and 9 p.m., which is late, I think.
Yeah.
I think customarily in the U.S., Christmas Eve, we'll eat, 6, 7 o'clock?
Sure.
You go to maybe 12 o'clock mass, but you eat a little bit earlier than that, right?
Yeah.
But there in Portugal, it's between 8 and 9. That's the custom. The main dish is bacalhau. And of course, we're Italian, so we know what bacalhau is. It is a salted cod.
Mm-hmm.
They traditionally do theirs with potatoes, boiled eggs, and cabbage.
Oh.
So that's their bacalhau. It's potatoes, salted cod, potatoes, boiled eggs, and cabbage. Christmas Day is known as the day to put a clothespin on your nose.
Yes. So, speaking of countries that enjoy cabbage all the time, Ukraine. Kutia is the most important dish at Christmas dinner over there. It is usually prepared from boiled wheat and generally seasoned with honey, poppy seeds, nuts, and dried fruits. Eating this on Christmas Eve is programmed the following year for a good harvest, livestock, and procreation. And you might be asking, why do Ukrainians not eat meat on Christmas Eve? The reason that they're meatless is that the animals that were in the stable when Jesus was born paid homage to Jesus, and they pay respect back to them, so they don't eat any animal products at all. That's the tradition.
Oh, that's cool.
So let's go to Austria. What could be more magical than spending Christmas in the Austrian Alps, surrounded by enchanting snow-capped mountains, trees peeking out from the white slopes, and a giant village to call home? Sounds like an ad for Austria, right? You know,
Yeah,
Well,
yeah, I want to go.
maybe we should have the voice lady be like, where could you be in a more magical place than spending Christmas in Austrian Alps? You know, she'd do that with her
If she
sultry voice.
says that, my answer will be a hotel room.
There you go. So Hallstatt has been noted as one of the most beautiful villages in Europe, and during the festive season, this charming winter haven takes on a fairy tale ambiance. Take in the life-size wooden nativity scene in the village square and bask in traditional seasonal music and lights. Sounds really beautiful.
For those in that Germanic region in that area, let me restate what Nick just said. Arstadt.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay. Well, when we drove, we were in Europe this past summer, and when we actually flew into Munich, and so as we're exiting the car rental place, it said Aschfart, and I'm thinking, wow.
That's after a good Christmas in Portugal.
Right, yeah, with all the cabbage.
Let's go to Egypt. In Egypt, they use palm trees. We do some of that down here. We decorate our palm trees with lights.
Yeah.
It's real pretty. It's beautiful down here at Christmas time. Egypt uses palm trees as their version of a Christmas tree. So they bring the palm tree indoors and they decorate it with lights and all kinds of festive little decorations. But in Egypt, they also celebrate more than Christmas. They celebrate Coptic Christmas, which is January 7th. Pretty much our version of when the wise men came to see Jesus.
Yeah, the Epiphany.
Little Epiphany or Little Christmas.
Right.
They celebrate, it's called Coptic Christmas, and there's more of a celebration on January 7th. So in Egypt, it's palm trees and January 7th.
Wow, okay.
Which is great for them because all the discounts are after the 25th.
That's right, yes, exactly.
Nick and Roy will continue with the Totally Useless Christmas Show.
The Boxing Day sale at Tom's Place is here. As a proud Canadian retailer, this is the right time for the best sale. Hi, Nick and Roy for Tom's Place.
We love bringing you incredible Boxing Week deals all through December. We're here for you every day, except Christmas and New Year's, with amazing discounts waiting.
We are fully stocked with a fantastic range of inventory and eager to move it all. Unbeatable deals on shirts, sweaters, pants, coats, sports jackets, suits, and more. Prices you won't believe.
Like top designers, Ted Baker suits made in Italy and Canada, regularly $900 to $1,100. Get ready, they're incredibly priced. $500. And totally useless information. Listeners can ask Tom. Tom stands for Take Off More. Don't be confused with Tom's last job as a Chippendale dancer. But our listeners, specifically when you go there, you say, I'm a totally useless information listener, Tom. Can you do more? Can you take off more, Tom?
And they've asked Roy to do that, but then they told him to put it back on. Plus, ask for our gift certificates, the perfect one-size-fits-all gift for anyone on your list.
Check online at toms-place.com. That's toms-place.com for all details about their specials and special hours.
Tom's Place Boxing Week sale happening now at 190 Baldwin Street in Kensington Market. We're ready to suit you. Tom's Place.
You're listening to Nick and Roy's Totally Useless Christmas Show. Listen, laugh, and learn.
As we continue our journey through around the world, as we're giving to you on this very, very merry, totally useless Christmas show with Nick and Roy, we thank you for joining us. We hope that as you're listening to us, that we fill your hearts with useless information as you gather around the Christmas festivities and whatever you celebrate. So each of these countries is where they listen to our show according to our stats. So let's go to Indonesia. One of the must-have Christmas dishes is soup brenebon, or kidney bean soup. Oh, that's a lot of fun with cabbage. Ask anyone about their favorite dish, and I'm sure a lot of them will say it's the soup Brennebon. It's one of the yummy marriages of Dutch and Indonesian cuisines. Interesting. Jamaica. Jamaica Christmas food uses, they have curried goat, baked ham.
Jamaica Christmas dinner, Nick?
Yes.
Jamaica.
No, I didn't know Jamaica. Wow.
The woman who does the voiceovers, she make me very happy.
Yes, absolutely. So they curry goat, baked ham, oxtails, roast beef or chicken, stewed pork are the stars of the dinner table. Jamaicans also serve their take on rice and peas using locally grown gungo peas and replace red or kidney beans. Yampi.
Okay, Nick.
Yes.
Nick knows from Deborah in the Bronx.
Yes.
We had a business down there in the Bronx, and Nick was part of it. And we were in a very highly Jamaican area.
Right.
So I literally had a lot of what you're saying, tasted it. It is amazing, folks. If you never had Jamaican food, real Jamaican food, you have got to try it. Their stews and their jerk chicken and the peas. Oh my God, it's so good. Even forget about Christmas. It's good all year round.
All year round, yeah. Or they also have yampi or sweet yam. It's also very common around the
it's
holidays.
So good. Yeah, it's really good. Jamaica's got great food.
And great people, too. Turks and Caicos Islands. The Turks and Caicos is a truly magical place. There's another one of those ads, it sounds like. Impossibly turquoise seas, powdery white sand, and a rejuvenating warmth that persists.
Have you ever been there, Nick?
No, have you?
Yes, I have been to Turks and Caicos.
And?
Have you been to Jamaica?
No.
I got to get you the hell out of Canada.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. So you can dig your toes into the sand and ride horses. This is all the stuff that happens around Christmas time. All you need is your swimsuit and some light clothing. The average temperature in December and January is in the low 80s. So 20-something, 23 or 24, maybe 25 degrees Celsius. So how about shoveling some sand instead of shoveling some snow? So it very much sounds like an ad for Turks and Caicos. But basically what they're saying is around Christmas time, it's business as usual. Now,
you know what's funny?
Yeah.
We got onto Turks and Caicos and we got into a cab. And the cab kept stopping because horses were walking across the street.
Oh, really?
And I said to the guy, "What's going on?" He said, "Nothing, the horses." I said, "What horses?" He goes, "There's horses all over the place." The horses just walk all over the place. They stand in the street. They walk around. I'm not talking about a couple horses. There's thousands of horses just running around.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. They're in the towns. They're on the beach. They go about their business, and They do their business right in the street.
Well, I would imagine so. So let's round out the 12 days of Christmas. We're giving you the retail price of the cost of the 12 days of Christmas.
On the 9th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me
$8,557.37. That's 3% increase from last year. The 9 ladies dancing are still one of the most expensive gifts in the index.
On the 10th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me
10 Lords of Leaping at $15,579.65.
That's crazy.
A leaping is right, as if they needed the additional buffer. The 10 Lords leapt an additional 7.2% to cement their hold as the most expensive gift in the index, surpassing the Swans from last year. So the Lords leaped over the Swans.
On the 11th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me
11 Pipers Piping, an increase of 15.8%, $3,714.96. It's been a really expensive year for the entertainment industry, and the Pipers are demanding their share. The price ballooned due to labor costs. It might be a brilliant move to start practicing. Okay. And finally,
on the 12th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me
12 drummers drumming, $4,016.85. It's an increase.
Wow.
It's increased by 15.8%. Because
that seems to be the general consensus, 15% increase. That's crazy.
So the total of all the 12 items we told you is $49,263.47, which is 5.4% increase from last year's. But if you take all of the gifts cumulatively, there are 364 presents, because as you do each part of the song, right, it repeats. Spreading cheer throughout 2024 costs 3% more at $209,272 even if you were to purchase every single one of those 364 presents in the 12 days of Christmas.
Wow, that's an expensive song to play in the jukebox.
It is, absolutely. You're listening to a very merry, totally useless Christmas show with Nick and Roy around the world.
We're going to Cuba.
Oh.
In Cuba, Christmas was banned for over 30 years, from the 60s up until 1998, not that long ago. In 1998, Pope John Paul visited the island of Cuba, and Castro decided to lift the ban on Christmas. Christmas Eve in Cuba is known as Noche Buena Feast, or Festa.
Yes.
Noche Buena Festa. And it highlights roasted mojo pork.
Mm.
Now, have you ever had roasted mojo pork?
No, I can't say that I have. What is that?
This, I'm gonna kidnap you and take you out of Canada.
Okay.
Listen, there's a restaurant called, and this is not a plug, but there's a restaurant called the Columbia. It is an authentic Cuban restaurant.
Okay.
Here in Florida. The mojo pork. Nick, when next time you're down, we're going. You're gonna try mojo pork. It is so delicious. It is marinated pork that's slow roasted. Really good.
In the Republic of Korea, and again, these are the countries that, according to our statistics, these are places that have downloaded our show at some point in the past 5 years. The Republic of Korea, for many Koreans, it's a secular and romantic holiday when couples go on dates and families enjoy the festive atmosphere, very much like China. Typical dishes include barbecued beef, kimchi, which is spicy fermented cabbage, oh yum, and sweet potato noodles. Now, the most essential...
Tell me you've never had kimchi.
I have. No, I have, very much so.
Yeah.
Because one of our friends is from the region of the world in Korea, and it's homemade, and it's absolutely delicious. It was great.
Spicy too, right?
Oh, yeah, you pay for it twice. The most essential part of the Christmas lunch or dinner in Korea is actually dessert. Most families typically serve a steamed rice cake studded with fruit. Let's go to Morocco. Christmas traditions in Morocco are a blend of European and local flair. Normally, Christmas dinner is held in all the hotels and restaurants located within the tourist areas. But instead of roast turkey, you get the bird called tangine style with Moroccan spices.
Wow, cool. Kenya, Africa. Christmas is pronounced Heria Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
That's Heriya, Christmas, spelled a little differently.
Yeah.
Santa Claus arrives on a bicycle or a camel. Well, think about it. It makes sense. There's no snow.
Right.
So how is Santa coming on a sled?
Yeah.
So he comes on either a bicycle or a camel in Kenya, Africa. I thought that's cool because, I mean, it's so functional.
Well, the original, some people think that Santa Claus is a fictional character. I mean, the Santa Claus that you see in terms of the image is what Coca-Cola created. But there actually was a Saint Nicholas, and he would ride around in a donkey. And
I got news for you. I'm gonna explain something in a few minutes about that.
Okay.
And it's pretty interesting.
So there really was a St. Nicholas, and so he did ride around in a donkey, so I'll save that for you. So now, Pakistan, it's a public holiday on December 25th. The standard traditional Christmas greeting in Punjabi is Bara Din Mubarak, which also means the Christmas of blessing on you. Let's visit Hong Kong on Christmas Day. The atmosphere is joyful with an emphasis on partying and exchanging gifts. It's time for family and friends to connect and have fun together.
Nick and Roy will continue with the Totally Useless Christmas Show. You're listening to Nick and Roy's Totally Useless Christmas Show. Listen, laugh, and learn.
Now let's go to Hungary. So there are love spells in Hungary. This is interesting. To forecast the name of her future husband, an unmarried woman would write 12 names on small scraps of paper and burn one a day until Christmas. The name on the last piece of paper was believed to be her future husband's name. Alternatively, the scraps of paper could be put into dumplings and then cooked. The first dumpling to rise to the surface of the boiling water would contain the name of the woman's husband-to-be in Hungary.
Malaysia. even though they don't speak English in Malaysia, Christmas is called Merry Christmas in English. Most Christmas things in Malaysia are literally taken from either the US or England. Christmas Day, this is the odd part though. Every restaurant in Malaysia is booked solid because Malaysians don't want to cook on Christmas. They go out to dinner on Christmas.
Oh.
How smart are the Malaysians?
Yes, absolutely.
I'm all for that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We'll continue with our journey around the world as we're explaining to you in the 75 plus countries that have downloaded our show over the past 5 years. But I wanted to tell you, I teased you about the one song. There are many songs that make you drive faster. Driving while jamming to the Christmas season type songs could land you in a snowbank if you're not careful, according to what this study says. According to experts, they warn you against listening to music with high rates of beats per minute or BPMs. Mm-hmm. So this comes from the South China University of Technology, SCUT, SCUT, where researchers found songs with a high BPM greater than 120. They encourage dangerous driving habits. So they compiled this information from that study and suggested the types of spirited songs can have psychological and cardiovascular effects that may increase the likelihood of the kind of driving which results in accidents on the road. But then again, that's why they invented, when Roy drives, they invented that bumper sticker. If you don't like the way I drive, well, stay off the sidewalk.
Yeah.
So I'll give you the top 10 most dangerous Christmas songs to drive to this holiday season. I'll give you a partial list. Number 10, at 129 beats per minute, I Saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus. Ooh. Number 9, at 137 beats per minute, Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. At 140 beats per minute, I Wish It Could Be Christmas Every Day. Now, some of these songs were covered by many artists, so it depends on the arrangement, but this is the most traditional parts of. At number 7, 142 beats per minute, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. And number 6, at 143 beats per minute, Let It Snow, Let It Snow, Let It Snow. I'll continue with more of the top 10 of the most dangerous songs as we continue a very merry, totally useless Christmas show with Nick and Roy around the world. Let's go to St. Lucia. Have you ever been to St. Lucia? You seem to be...
I have.
Families gather to prepare and enjoy traditional dishes such as green figs and saltfish, which consist of green bananas and salted codfish. There's the bacala again. And black cake, which is a rum-soaked fruit cake. Ponche de creme is a creamy Caribbean eggnog. It's also a favorite during the holiday season. Now, you talk about codfish and bacala. There's an actual slang. Bacala is used in a slang sense if you want to say someone is like an idiot in Italian. Oh, he's such a bacala. Because I guess maybe the salted cod is such like one of the least favorite of all the fish family, I guess.
Well, the reason salted cod is a popular traditional dish is because it's so old, there wasn't refrigeration. So they salted the cod to keep it from spoiling. And of course, you had to get the cod a few days before Christmas. So they definitely had to salt it because there was no refrigeration.
Wow.
So, and that's why it's traditional in a lot of places, because it's so old of a tradition to eat it. It became traditional. Plus, it's so disgusting that people said, we're only going to do this once a year.
Yeah.
So, I love this one. By the way, when I spoke about Malaysia, I didn't tell you what their main big dish is. It is curry chicken with fried noodles.
Ooh.
That's their big dish in Malaysia.
Yeah.
In Turkey, only 2% of the population celebrate Christmas. Now, the rest of the population is Muslim. So think about this. 2 out of every 100 people celebrate Christmas. But here's the kicker. The city of Myra, M-Y-R-A, is the birthplace of St. Nicholas.
Wow, there you go.
St. Nicholas was born in Turkey. Not inside the turkey, because the stuffing was in there.
That's right, yeah.
He was born in Myra, Turkey.
Yep.
So the birthplace of St. Nick is one of the least celebrated areas of Christmas in the world.
Mind blown.
That's so crazy.
It is. Let's go back to the most dangerous Christmas songs, the top 5 now, the most dangerous Christmas songs to drive during the holiday season. At number 5, Happy Christmas, War is Over, 146 beats per minute by John Lennon and the Plastic Ono Band. At number 4, at 147 beats per minute, Santa Claus is Coming to Town. Number 3, at 149 beats per minute, Feliz Navidad. Now there's 2 left. 2 left in the top.
That's a toe tapper.
It is 149. Now the top 2 songs now, and let's see if you can guess this, and maybe the audience would think what the number 1 most dangerous song is at 150 beats per minute. What do you think the number 1 song is?
Have a holly jolly Christmas.
No, the second most dangerous song, according to the people who did the survey at the university in South China, is All I Want for Christmas Is You by Mariah Carey.
Ooh, that's because they're thinking about her.
No, it's 100. Well, they did talk about cardiovascular effects.
Yeah, you begin to daydream, you know?
It's 150 beats per minute. And the number 1 song that was named the most dangerous tune to enjoy while driving at 172 beats per minute, Frosty the Snowman.
Is it really Frosty?
Yeah, it's 172 beats per minute.
Yeah.
Now, on the other end of the scale, the calming songs to listen to while you're driving during Christmas. Elvis, Blue Christmas, 67 beats per minute, along with Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree. Do You Hear What I Hear, 63 beats per minute, and Carol of the Bells at 47 beats per minute. This time of year, some people feel really lonely, and we hope that if you don't have anyone in your life, that we maybe were your companion, and we helped you celebrate this joyous season. I asked our voice lady to give us a nice, warm greeting, a Christmas greeting. I pictured she did this while she was by the fireplace, and maybe a snifter of brandy or something.
So they roped me into this. I didn't really want to do it, but here we are. Merry Christmas, everyone. Cheers to 2025.
We steal the spotlight because we're talking all the time, but she is an integral part of the show, and you'll hear her on every single show. And so thank you, who we affectionately call the voice lady.
That's right. Well, that's all the time that we have for this very, very special, a very, very merry, totally useless Christmas show with Nick and Roy around the world. I don't think we got to all 75 countries because we run out of time, but I do tell you that every single one of those countries celebrate, and however you celebrate, make it a safe one. I'm Nick.
And I'm Roy, and Christmas is a special time. So every time you wake up and open your eyes, it is a wonderful, wonderful day.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, guys.
Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy has been brought to you in part by Tom's Place, the finest in men's fashion. Located in Toronto at 190 Baldwin Street in the heart of Kensington Market. Or visit toms-place.com.